Whoa!
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
NYU and Stanford, heavy hitters in the collegiate world, right? Researchers, both big research universities, NYU and Stanford. And Stanford, right in their backyard, is Facebook, right? So you would think that, this would be like you doing a study on the negative effects of wine. It doesn't. It doesn't
I'm not doing that study.
It doesn't bode well for
I'm doing
Facebook.
the positive effects of wine.
According to a new study from NYU and Stanford, if you leave Facebook, it would be good for your emotional well-being.
Oh, I've heard people, I've read stuff like this before, that being on Facebook, it makes people depressed because nobody puts the bad stuff on Facebook. It's like the highlight of it's like we call it a best of show, and we don't just take we try to take stuff that we thought was decent. We don't post, the bad stuff or the stuff that we thought, that didn't really work. Mm-hmm. I think that's what Facebook is. It's the best of somebody's life.
Yeah. We're talking with Coach Calero, and it used to be back in the day, basketball players would have to put together a tape. And let's face it, video editing from an amateur standpoint, 7-8 years ago, was nowhere near what it is now. You can really make yourself shine with video editing on an app on your phone.
Right, yeah. No, I did it with the last year when you did the 60 ounces in hell.
Beer bong? Come on. That was just like a few.
And what was cool about it was we had like 4 or 5 different phones going. Everybody sent me the videos. Yeah. So I had like multiple camera angles.
How long did you work on that? An hour?
Oh,
hour
no.
and a half?
Like 15, maybe
really?
20 minutes.
Well, it looked like you worked on it an hour.
I used like some GoPro app. I forget what it's called, but it added the music in. It did all the effects, because I did a slow motion. I did,
Coach Calero said, I said, it must be easier now. Players can make their videos available to you on YouTube. They just send you a link. You don't have to worry about the VHS coming in the mail, so you're popping it or a DVD. He's like, no, it's way worse now because there's so much that you have to go through. And then what you're getting is not indicative of what the player is. He's only going to send you the best possible parts of his games, not where he went wrong and where he needs improvement. So it's really hard to gauge from a recruiting standpoint. That's why he still makes the visits. That's why he still goes out to the high schools and watches them play if he wants them to play for Cal Poly, because, you're not sure if what you're getting on the tape is as advertised.
Exactly. You may be getting something, that is totally not advertised, and so that seems to make a lot of sense.
Like that one time you dunk a ball, you're getting 7 different angles on that dunk shot. Problem. So Facebook is bad for your emotional well-being, but while you might be happier spending less time on Facebook and you'll have more free time, you might end up less informed. Now, I have done this to an extent. I spend so much time on Facebook and a little bit on Twitter. I'm starting to gravitate more towards Twitter because of our work.
Yeah, but you're there's 2 different sides to Facebook. You're posting stuff. Mm-hmm. You're not looking at the news feed.
I do respond to people.
Oh, you do? But you go to the news feed?
Only on posts in which we post.
But I'm talking about actually going to your news feed and see what everybody else is posting.
I don't ever look at the news feed.
See, that's how
No, that's not true.
And most people
sometimes
absorb Facebook.
Sometimes I will, because when I open it up, it goes right to the news feed. Right. I'll look at the first 3 stories that are on the screen, and if one of those interests me, I'll write a comment, and then I'll move on to what I'm here for, and that is generating content.
See, here's one that pisses me off right away. And I know Trisha, and she's a great lady, very talented photographer, and I agree with her. But it's when I hit it, the first thing that opens up is somebody dumped a bunch of trash by the railroad tracks along the Salinas riverbed in Paso Robles. And she says, seriously, how hard is it to take your crap to the landfill? And I look at that, now I'm in a bad mood. Thanks. I agree, but now I'm in a bad mood. I see Kyle writes in. He says, stuck in the mud again. Who's got a winch? That makes me laugh. Tough guy trying to take his big truck into the mud. He got stuck.
Puts me in a good mood.
I had friends like that in high school. They were always getting pulled out with winches. I know what you mean, though, because sometimes
Facebook is great for you.
I read something.
You're all about generalizations. Actually, Twitter's really good for you.
Yeah, I know.
Twitter should be your jam.
I need to be more on Twitter.
Not now that they've increased the word count. Man, Twitter was your jam when it was 140. When it was 140 characters or less, man, you could jump to those conclusions on people and be a happy man. The study also showed some positives of staying on Facebook, such as using Facebook as a source of entertainment, maybe a better way to be active in your communities, like different things that are going on, which I agree with that. And it's a good place to socialize. If you're not going to socialize, it's better than watching TV, is basically what Stanford and NYU is saying. Facebook's probably a little bit better for you than watching TV, but beware, you're going to be engaged. And if you're engaged, then it is going to play on your emotions. TV shows, don't do that. TV shows are now, all TV is fantasy. All TV is fantasy because, unless it's a reality show, I guess. But all TV is fantasy, all scripted TV is fantasy because it's not happening in the real life. You have entertainment that is happening in the real life right there in front of you on your phone, whether it be Facebook or Twitter. And that strikes a button with most people. It's kind of funny because remember the explosion of reality shows in the 2000s? About the same time Facebook started coming on the scene? There was nothing but reality shows on TV. Now that is scaled way back because people have got the ultimate reality TV show on their phone, and that's Facebook.
Yeah, I was thinking as we're sitting here talking about this would be a fun experiment. Maybe I'll do it.
Listen.
For the entire month of February, when I get home from work, 1:30, I'm going to go plug my phone in. I'm going to put it where I put it at night when I go to bed, over on this little desk in the kitchen.
Facebook February.
And I'm not going to watch TV until my wife gets home. And I'm going to sit there. I'll be bored out of my mind.
I'm sorry.
I will start doing things that need to get done around the house.
Yeah.
Because you think about it, these apps, these phones, they make you lazy. Because you just sit on the damn couch or chair or wherever you sit, and you sit there and you'll scroll through it. And hours can go by. And when I get bored with Facebook, I'll go to Instagram. And then I'm bored with that, I'll start looking at Twitter. I'm like, God, this is pathetic. Ed is on the line, wanted to weigh in. Go ahead, man.
Hey, good morning. I just wanted to say, if you're going to think about ditching Facebook or whatever, you may find, like I did last January, that getting rid of Facebook was the best thing I could have ever done. After a month of it, I went another month, and then another month, and then another month, and now I don't even have it anymore. It's been over a year. It's been amazing. I do things that are important, like getting out of the house and enjoying the awesome area that we live in, going to the beach, surfing, reading, playing my guitar.
What do you say to people, Ed, when they say, "Oh, did you check?" Because this happens to me a lot because I've not ditched Facebook because I have to be on it for work purposes, but outside of work, I'm not on it at all. And my mom does this all the time. My mom, whenever I call her, she goes, "Did you see the post that I posted about the grandkids?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't get around to that." She's like, "How could you not see that?" And I'm like, "'Cause I'm not really on Facebook all that much." I've had to tell her for the last 3 years that, yeah, I use Facebook, but for work purposes. And she gets very confused because she thinks I only care about work and not her. So I have these awkward conversations with people.
Yeah, I get that. You know, the blue dress thing or the green dress or whatever color dress it was that everybody was freaking out about? When that went down, I was just looking at everybody from an outside perspective, nutting up about this. I go to the same place for breakfast every morning, and literally certain tables were having conversations about what color this dress was, and I'm like, what a giant waste of time. And what happens is people are saying, no, it's this, no, it's that. And that's the thing that I found out is that it's so divisive. It's much the same as the rest of society. It's just on a larger scale.
Are you sure?
We don't deal with.
Listen, Ed, are you sure you just weren't jealous that nobody gave a crap about you and they'd rather talk about the color of a dress?
Nope, don't care at all about that. As a matter of fact, you made a point earlier that you have to, quote, keep up with everybody. What do you have, 1,000 people on there? Eliminate your Facebook for a month and see who comes to you.
No, I only have about 100 people. And
okay, so
all people
eliminate
I care
your
about
Facebook
very
for a
dearly.
month and see about the people that come to you and request, hey, where'd you go? Hey, what happened? I had like 300 people on there. About 12 or 15 of them I'm still in great contact with. They searched me out, or I searched a few of them out as well. And that was it. I don't have to deal with any of the other crap anymore. And I just found that it's like bloatware on your phone. When you buy it, it's got all these programs you never use. There's all this crap you don't need to see.
God, you are passionate about this. You are really upset about Facebook. Like
not upset at all.
No,
I think it's been a benefit for me to not have it.
No,
Yeah,
I know,
no.
but I could tell that it really upset you, and you really, I mean, I don't know.
Well, he didn't know that it upset him until he went away from it.
God,
and he was a
I mean,
happier
he's
person.
like screaming.
I didn't know it upset me until you said it upset me. I'm not upset. I think that's just your interpretation of it. But we all have
You're
our
fired
filters
up,
we look
man.
through.
You're fired up, man.
I'm passionate about what you get when you don't have all that crap in your life and what it's done for me. Maybe
Right.
you'll see it too in a month.
And
Maybe you
you're
won't.
not the first person
I don't
I've
think
heard.
I'm that obsessed with it, though.
You're not the first person I've heard vocalize it in that fashion. And every time I hear it, I am very envious of you. I am very envious of the people like you that say, I ditched it and made my life so much better. And it's so funny because it's like you when you hear people talk about it in that sense, it's almost like hearing an alcoholic talk about how their life has become better since they've been 12 years sober. It's the same kind of feeling. You're like, man, you had to get that out of your life. And once you do get it out of your life, you end up a better person in the end.
There should be coins. Facebook
My
free coins.
Well, my relationship with my fiance is 10 times better because I'm not invested in it. Now, she still is, but then she'll catch herself and go, oh, wow, I've just been on the phone for the last 2.5 hours. Or once we were at dinner recently, and she's on her phone for Facebook. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm not that interesting to you. If you'd like, I can go ahead and, get a taxi home. And she was just like, oh, and then I realized that was a little passive aggressive. But, it's no fun to sit at a dinner with one person and yourself, and that person's not even there because they're on Facebook or they're looking at their phone,
Yeah, they shouldn't even be allowed to bring that phone to the table.
Well,
Leave it
when
in the
you
car.
said earlier that you were sitting with your wife, you wanted to be, you wanted to spend time with her and watch a program that you don't like, but she does, so you wanted to sit with her. You're not there when you're sitting on your Facebook or sitting on your phone.
Well, yeah,
Just because you're in the same room doesn't mean you're there.
Well, she's not paying attention to me anyway. She's watching the Bravo show.
I get that. So do something productive instead. Watch how your life changes. Just my
God, you should
observation.
Ed, the
from
life
my-
coach.
Yeah.
This is
No,
Ed,
no,
the
no,
life
no, no.
coach
It's great,
over here.
because
It's got
great
all
advice,
kinds of
though.
advice.
But it's not hard advice to follow. It isn't. It sounds like he's speaking from experience. I mean, he seems like a pretty happy guy.
I'm pretty dang stoked, man. I got to say, like I said, I found time for things that are more important than what everybody else is discussing. None of that needs to become. I have my own life to live. I don't need to live it vicariously through everybody else's decisions or what they're eating or whatever. It's just all topical minutia.
Wow.
And that's for me. This is whatever anybody else does is their deal, and it's not for me to say whoever does whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that I experienced a massive gain of excitement and joy in the environment that I live in and being in the now rather than living through everybody else's vicarious situation.
I love it. I love it, Dave.
Just saying.
Or Ed.
Just
Ed,
saying.
it's Ed.
Sorry,
Yeah, it's life coach Ed. Thank you, sir. I hope you have a great day. Good on
No problem,
quitting
man.
Facebook.
You guys have a great one.
All right, see you later.
Thank you, guys. All right, bye-bye.
93.3 KZOZ rocks the 805.